Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive?
Yeah, let's do it.
This time we're exploring Google's NoteBookLM.
Which really has taken the world by storm. We'll see what all the hype is about.
Especially for students, it seems.
Yeah, tons of potential there.
We're using this YouTube video by LD Social as our guide today.
They do a great job breaking down the features and how it all works.
And they're super excited about NoteBookLM.
Oh yeah, they call it maybe the best AI notebook out there right now.
So no holding back on the enthusiasm.
Not at all. For good reason, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's free, at least for now.
Always a good starting point.
Yeah.
How does it actually work, though?
You upload your study material, could be syllabuses or lecture notes.
Makes sense so far.
Even YouTube videos with captions, which is interesting.
So it can process different formats.
Yeah. Not just text, it can work with videos too, which I think is super interesting.
So what happens to all that information? Does it just sit there?
That's where things get really cool.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
NoteBookLM uses what you upload to answer questions, make study guides.
That's helpful, but not exactly groundbreaking.
It can even generate a whole podcast conversation summarizing the material.
Whoa, hold on. Like a podcast episode about what you uploaded?
Yeah, it's wild. It's more than just retrieving information. It's synthesizing it.
Okay, so it's not just spitting back facts. It's like analyzing and summarizing.
Exactly. Instead of you digging through notes, it's like having a study buddy who already did the work.
That'd be amazing during finals week.
Right. Seriously, though, this shift towards AI synthesizing information, it's huge.
I can see that. It's one thing to have access to information, but another to actually understand it.
Totally. And this example in the video, they use a real syllabus for an Introduction to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning course.
Very meta. So NoteBookLM is taking a college course now.
Not quite. But it shows how well it works. It picks up on key themes, like it's a hands-on course.
Okay, so it's not just pulling out dates and deadlines. It's getting the vibe of the class.
Exactly. Even notices there are real-world projects involved.
Like what?
Things like facial recognition, building chatbots.
No way. It figured that out from the syllabus.
Yep. It's not just pulling out info, it's understanding context, which is super important.
Especially if you're trying to choose classes, this could be a game changer.
For sure. No more skimming through walls of text.
And then that AI-generated podcast thing, the video plays a little bit of it.
I was wondering when we'd get to that.
And honestly, it's surprisingly good.
Right. Like, shockingly good.
Sounds totally natural, like two people talking about the course highlights.
Exactly. Not robotic at all.
And it picks up on the focus on practical skills, even mentions using Amazon Web Services.
Really impressive, for sure.
But AI isn't perfect, right? There's got to be limitations.
Of course, the video host makes that clear too. Like,
yeah.
NoteBookLM is only as good as the information it's given.
So you can't just feed it anything and expect magic.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out, basically. If there are errors in what you upload, they'll be reflected in the results.
Makes sense. So critical thinking is still important.
Absolutely. It's a tool to help you understand, not to think for you.
Still, pretty powerful tool. Imagine the possibilities, like prepping for a big meeting or catching up on industry trends.
Right. Being able to go through tons of information and get the key points quickly.
Super valuable. But what about different types of information? The video tests NoteBookLM with YouTube tutorials this time.
Interesting. So not a typical syllabus or document.
Yeah, this time it's about data analytics and AI.
Curious to see how it handles the change.
Me too. It's a good test of its flexibility, right?
Definitely. It's more like how people consume information these days, with videos and all.
So, did it pass the test? Could it keep up?
It did really well. Just like with the syllabus, it pulled out those core concepts.
No signs of AI burnout then?
What was really interesting, actually, was when it didn't have enough information to answer something.
Oh, did it crash and burn?
Not at all. It actually acknowledged it and pointed towards areas for more research.
So it knew what it didn't know. That's kind of cool.
Right. It's like it was saying, hey, I'm not omniscient, but based on what I do know, here's where to look next.
That's actually super helpful.
I think so, too. It shows that AI can be reliable, but also transparent about its limitations.
A good quality in any partner.
Exactly. And in this partnership, we bring the creativity and critical thinking, while AI brings that processing power.
A powerful combination. But we have to remember, the source material matters.
Right, like we said before, if the information you start with is flawed, the output will be too.
So how do we make sure we're using it effectively?
Digital literacy is key. We need to be able to evaluate information and think for ourselves.
Being able to spot biases and misinformation.
Exactly. That's important for everything online, not just AI tools.
It's about being an active participant, not just passively consuming.
Couldn't agree more. It's about using these tools to enhance our understanding, not replace our own judgment.
And speaking of enhancing our understanding, the video host really puts NoteBookLM through its paces.
Ooh, what do they throw at it?
They started asking about collecting data from Twitter, something not covered in the tutorials at all.
Whoa, that's a curveball.
Yeah.
Talk about thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how did it handle that?
So did NoteBookLM totally crash and burn?
Surprisingly, no. It recognized that it didn't have the specific answers in the videos.
Okay, so not a complete failure. But what happened then?
It used the information it did have, like stuff about Twitter APIs and data, to give some context.
So it tried to make connections, even though it was stretching a bit?
And it suggested other places to look for more info.
That's honestly way more helpful than just hitting a wall.
Right. Shows how important that context is. It was able to connect those dots, even if they were a bit far apart.
That's usually something we think of humans doing, not machines.
I know, it's pretty impressive. It's like I keep saying, this AI stuff, it's about partnership.
Working together, each side with their own strengths.
Exactly. And yeah, like we talked about earlier, the accuracy of the information matters.
Right, can't just blindly trust everything it spits out.
The video host emphasizes that again. If your starting point is flawed, the results will be too.
So how do we, become smarter about using this stuff?
That's where digital literacy comes in. Being able to really evaluate information, think for ourselves.
Being able to spot those biases and misinformation we hear so much about?
Exactly. And that's important way beyond AI, really.
Yeah.
It's about navigating this digital world.
It's like being an active participant, not just letting the algorithm control everything.
100%.
Yeah.
Using these tools to learn and understand better, not to think for us.
Well said. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Google's NoteBookLM,
What a journey.
any final thoughts for our listeners out there?
I think the biggest thing is these tools have so much potential to change how we learn, how we deal with information. It's exciting.
Yeah, we've seen how NoteBookLM can make learning more efficient, help us see those connections, maybe even challenge our own thinking a bit.
The question now is, how will you use these tools as they keep evolving?
That's something to ponder. And if this got you curious, head over to our website. We'll have that YouTube video we talked about linked and more info on NoteBookLM. Until next time, keep exploring.